Hello and welcome to a channel update. This is pretty much a status report, basically just saying where everything is at after the crash and kind of going over where everything is at in general, because it's been a while since we've had a, what's actually going on, and I think it's good because it kind of lets me tell you what kind of things are going along, and there's a lot of different stuff happening right now. We got some stuff to talk about the stream, which we had some tests of before the crash, and I want to talk a little bit about that. We also have 4 series on right now. Am I forgetting anything? Nope, I think we only have 4 series on right now, which is good, because the schedule's not quite working for me right now. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're going to talk a little bit about what kind of series are going to be on the channel in the future. So let's start with Crusader Kings 2, because I think that's probably what a lot of people want to hear about. So, Avatar series is going to continue. It's, the Avatar series, as in multiple series, are going to continue, because we have the Fire one, which is going to end soon. I can't see it lasting more than a week and a half at max, probably not the end of the week. I think the Fire series, we ran out of content. We pretty much hit we're out of content cliff. And the next one we're going to do is Air. I don't think there is any content for Air in the bit that I'm planning on playing on, but I also haven't checked whether I can play there, so I'm not going to tell you what I'm planning, but it'll be good if it's there, and it'll be good if it's not. But Air is going to be a little bit of a slower campaign, whatever happens, because they're not exactly the, military powerhouse. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do with Air. We'll have to think about that a little bit. Anyway, because the Avatar mod doesn't have an awful lot beyond combat. The mod doesn't have a lot of depth in terms of things. Like, it actually lacks a little bit of the depth that, say, vanilla CK2 has in terms of non-combat stuff. So, I'm not 100% sold on what we're doing there, but we'll see. We'll probably start playing and then feel it out as it goes along. The CK2 Game of Thrones RP series is doing alright. It's kind of fun. It's interesting to get back into that. Some things are happening which may mean this series ends prematurely, but that will only be because we have died through fire and blood. But we'll just play more Game of Thrones if that happens. I do want to do another custom courtier series for it at some point, but the problem with it right now is I don't have any time. Like, my spare time right now is completely used up in recording, and that's really why I want to talk about the schedule a little bit. In fact, this will be a good point, because we're kind of done with CK2. The schedule is a little bit taxing right now, because basically Mass Effect is 7 hours a week, and that's a lot of stuff. CK2 Avatar and CK2 Game of Thrones, together they're about, an hour 40 each, so 320? Yeah, so 3 hours and 20 minutes up for that. Mass Effect is over double that in a week and can be even longer. Like, Mass Effect is a huge time sink in terms of recording, so I want to cut that down, because if I cut that down, we can do more, we can do other cool stuff. It also gives me some spare time, some flexibility, and that really works out best for everyone because I don't get burned out, which is what's kind of happening, but it's alright. So that is why this weekend, because I knew I had the whole weekend free, I recorded till the end of Mass Effect, which was about, I don't know, I thought it was about 2 hours away. It was about 14 hours away, but Mass Effect is done recording, so it's going to go up over the next couple of weeks. We may start another series in between, depending on how I feel about it, like next week. And the next series that's going to replace it is Rimworld. Why did I pick Rimworld? Why Rimworld of all the kind of things? Well, basically I want there to be content every day for whatever I'm recording. So I think Rimworld fits into that quite nicely. Rimworld's a series where I don't necessarily take that much feedback, like quick feedback, mainly because there isn't as much for, say, something like Crusader Kings, where I'm getting a lot of feedback thrown at me. So actually having a day off in Crusader Kings, or 2 days off, is really good, because it gives a chance for feedback to kind of build up, and then for me to actually act on it, which I think is kind of cool. I may change Crusader Kings, by the way, its schedule right now, but what I don't want to do is I don't want to say, okay, I'm reducing the schedule down, and then I'm going to put more into Crusader Kings, because yeah, that doesn't actually work as well. That one ruins the balance of the channel in terms of content, but that's not necessarily bad. But it also takes away from the point of reducing the amount of stuff I'm recording so that I'm spending less time recording. But yeah, Rimworld I think is there. I want to play Rimworld again for some time. And I want a game that, say I want to stream something. Rimworld, if I have that on the channel, perfect thing to stream. I can just do a chunk of Rimworld campaign. There's absolutely nothing that's going to impact that. If some people come in, it's the perfect kind of thing to say, okay, we got a new colonist, you in chat, you can be a colonist. That's I think Rimworld's a cool game for that kind of stuff. It's kind of chill, it's kind of relaxed. It's not very intensive mechanically, so you can just sit back. There's a lot of waiting for things to happen in it. There's a lot of chill out, wait for your people to build stuff. A lot of time where in theory, there could be chat interaction. I think I quite like that idea for Rimworld. And it's a game where you can just pour time into it, and it's not like we're moving that vastly forward. You can jump in at any point and get a rough idea of what's happening. You can see the fort, you can be like, or you can see the colony you've got, and you'd be like, okay, I can see what they've got, I can see what you're working on right now. It's something you can jump in. Crusader Kings, not so much. You can sometimes be juggling a couple of things in Crusader Kings, and it's not entirely obvious what you're going towards right then. I think Rimworld works a lot better for something that I can just pop on, and people can hop in, hop out whenever they want. I think it's a better suited game for that. And that leads into the stream a little bit. Stream is something I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with it yet. I have the capability, but I'm not entirely sure. It's a different kind of medium from just playing the game, from recording. Recording, you make a mistake, you stop it, you can restart it, you can take a break, you only want to record for, say, 20 minutes, you record for 20 minutes, go away, come back. Streaming, I feel like you have to commit a little bit more time. If you're only streaming for 20 minutes, you can do it, but I don't think it's as interesting. I think you have to actually commit some time to it. Rimworld, again, great game for that. Rimworld's a game where you can just sit back, and you can let the game do a lot of the work in terms of advancing stuff, and you can just sit back and interact with people, which is the whole point of streaming over recording. If I just want to play a game, then recording is better, because I can just play it, and there'll be no distractions. I can just do it in time slots that suit me better. And if I want to stream, the reason I would want to stream is so I can interact with people. So that's where that is. Hopefully that made sense. Kind of made sense in my head before I said it, and I think it still made most sense. Anyway, let's move on to Pillars, because we haven't talked about it yet. Pillars is going to be going Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I might make it every second day. I might change it to that. I think that would probably work out for a better schedule, and it works better for the game. I want to do Skyrim afterwards, and I think that might be a better way of doing it. So have record day, render day, record day, render day for that sort of thing. Or I can slot it into a weekend and do a bunch at a time. It has a couple of different. It's a little bit flexible, but also kind of works for the series. Skyrim's kind of thing where you want longer episodes, so that would work in there. However, I do have a question about Skyrim for those of you who are interested in watching it, because there were some of you. Would you prefer Fallout? Because I've been thinking, I want to do Fallout again, I want to play Fallout again, but I've said I'm doing Skyrim. So if you want me to keep doing Skyrim, Skyrim's ahead. But if you want me to do Fallout, here is your opportunity. Make your voice heard, tell me what you want to see. Because I'm happy with either. But, yeah, just thought I'd mention that there. There is one thing missing from our little update here. The thing that is missing is the co-op stuff. And why is co-op stuff not on the list? Well, basically, one, we played the start to Baldur's Gate twice, and have, first time we died, two hours in, and that didn't really work. So we scrapped that one. Thought, hey, well, let's play it again. Then my computer crashed, and we lost the footage. Or, not the footage, we lost the save game. We still had the footage, but it's useless, because you didn't have the save game. So, we thought, okay, we're going to do it again. We'll just start again next weekend. Nobody's seen it yet, we haven't put out any episodes, it's not like there's a huge delay, no time limit. And then, Larian Studios, I think that's the name anyway, the people who make Divinity 2 announced a release date. It's September. So we thought, a 30-hour game in 2 months and we haven't started yet? It's probably not going to happen. So what we decided to do is just take a break on that. We'll come back, we'll play Divinity when it's out. And it kind of works out well because I can have a chance to reduce my schedule a little bit without having to add another thing in to the mix. We may be doing, and I say may, I'm just going to throw that out there, there may be some tabletop stuff coming at some point. It's something we want to do, and we want to do it in the summer while a lot of people have more time. So tabletop stuff may come back in some form over the summer, it may not. We started planning it in like April, and we're at the point where some people haven't made their character yet, so you know, it may not happen. But I just want to throw it out there. It's still kinda, it's in the air. It's something that might happen. Is there anything else we really need to talk about? I don't think there's anything major, apart from thank you for watching. The channel has been doing really well recently. We're getting some of the highest numbers the channel's ever seen consistently. I think that's really cool, especially as there's been a lot of turmoil. There's been a lot of, you know, turmoil, is that the right word for it? I don't know. Basically, there's been a lot of disruption to usual business on the channel. There's been a lot of series that aren't on for a week. There's been a lot of things where, like, series randomly change and stop, and it's kind of good that, you know, the channel's still doing well. People are still enjoying watching things. And I regularly see comments from people watching the older series, and people I see watching a newer series and then going back and watching the older one, which is great because that's the whole point of the channel in terms of how I set it up. I wanted to do long series in playlists, basically so that people could go and watch them. People could work their way through things. It would still be good. Like, I want to do series that aren't just good for, say, the month that they're there. I want something that someone will go and, like, go back, watch, and still get something out of it, which I think is cool. We'll see, though. We'll see how things keep going, but there is also the fact that it's the summer, and that is, of course, going to boost numbers, but as long as the numbers are boosted high enough, we'll hit another peak, probably drop down to a plateau, and the idea is we want the bit where it drops down to be higher than the bit it was at previous to the summer. So we'll see if we can do that. Anyway, thank you for watching. Oh, one last thing. The stream. If anyone has a preference over Twitch or YouTube, come and tell me, because I don't really care. I think I'd prefer Twitch in the long term, but right now I think YouTube's pretty cool for the fact that I can turn it on, then anybody who's subscribed to me can see it. That obviously gives a lot more visibility than me having to put out a video for it and then people going over there. But, you know, whatever. If there's a large amount of people who say, I would just actually like to watch it on Twitch, then we can put it on Twitch. Doesn't really matter to me. Both services offer pretty much the same thing to me currently, so there we go. Anyway, thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.